Mirqur is basically just another future Cardano DEX, but it has a cool feature, and that is them giving out their tokens to delegators who stake in their pool. What's up, my name is Caroline and this is Wealth in Progress, where you'll learn how to make passive income with cryptocurrencies. In this video, we'll look at what Mirqur is, and more importantly, we'll look at how you can participate in their ISO, in their initial stake pool offering, so you can get those Mirqur tokens and be a super early investor. As always, this is no financial advice and is simply for informational and educational purposes. However, the good thing with ISOs or ISPOs is that they're relatively low risk. So the maximum that you're giving up are your Cardano staking rewards, or in some cases not even that. That's why I'm such a huge fan of this way of token distribution, but again, no financial advice. One more thing before we get started. The DeFi Academy has just launched and you've only got about 24 hours left to profit from our special deal, which gives you a 40% discount. It's all ready and set. We've got the DFA exit strategy ready, so you can stop worrying about missing the top. We've got the Cardano projects list prepared as we're moving into smart contract territory. We've got both our portfolios and recent trades updated, and we're ready to share our weekly technical and on-chain analysis and trading signals when they get triggered. Just as these super early bird, there are only limited spots in this category, and the super early bird option has been sold out quickly. So if you want to profit from that super steep discount, go down to the description and click on the first link to join the DeFi Academy. Okay, let's dive in. Alright, so I'm now on the Mirqur homepage, and you can see they say they want to be a Pareto optimal DEX on Cardano. Now, Pareto optimal is a fairly technical term, but what it basically means is that they want to achieve optimums, both mathematically speaking and socially speaking. In other words, they want to be a fair DEX and they want to be community driven. So they want to have everything around the community. The community should decide in which direction the project should go. That will become clearer once we look at the guiding principles. So let's do that next. So you can see these are the three guiding principles: owned by community, research first, and no bullshit. Sounds good. All right, owned by community. They say we are of the opinion that the spirit of decentralization is only served if a project's control is handed to the community as soon as sensible. Therefore, we will hand out governance tokens to supporters of the project in proportion to amount and duration of stakes delegated to the Mirqur pool. So that is the ISO, the ISPO. We'll get into that later, but that's basically their first step towards being community driven. Then we've got research first, so that's where mathematics come in. We couldn't stop ourselves from finding the optimal solution mathematically. And then the third principle is no bullshit. If you win and continue winning, that should be because you remain the most attractive solution. So they speak about themselves. Not because you managed to lock your customers in, not because you overspent on marketing. If you ever think we're doing something the wrong way, technologically or ethically, please don't hesitate to let us know. So again, they want to be community driven, and if the community has an opinion about something, they want to know that opinion as well. Now, they do have a Lightpaper, which is basically a light version of a white paper. I'll link both links in the description. That is getting fairly technical fairly quickly as well, but if you want to read through that, feel free to do so. But so they've got the most important parts in here as well, so we'll just go through that. What I find very interesting is that they have portfolio pools. Now, what this means is that with most, so they say that here, with most AMM DEXs, you have binary pools. That means that you have two kind of tokens. You buy a LP token, a liquidity pool token for those two pairs, and then you stake that liquidity pool token in that pool. So you have two tokens, and you basically take them together with an equal proportion and you put that in a pool. But with Mirqur, you can actually create a portfolio. So you can decide, for instance, okay, I want to have 50% of the first token, 20% of the second, and then 30% of the third. And you can mix that together and then stake that combination or that portfolio in a stake pool. Let's say you want to be exposed to a portfolio consisting of 80% ADA, for 15% Mirqur, and 5% CBTC. With binary pools, achieving exposure following these ratios will require an unlikely and fleeting set of circumstances to arise. With portfolio pools, you can just create a pool that always tends towards exactly your ideal portfolio. So I find that a pretty cool idea because it just gives you more options. So you can basically stake your ideal portfolio and you don't have to choose just between a whole lot of tokens and just choose two. So I find that a pretty cool idea. What I also find great is that they have an impermanent loss insurance. So what happens is, if you have these binary pools, if one token decreases in value, that results in impermanent loss. So let's read here. If the price of a token decreases after you add liquidity to the pool, you suffer so-called impermanent loss. Loss occurs because you would have potentially benefited more by simply holding funds in your wallet. Impermanent because if the price of the token rewards, you will no longer have any losses. Now, if we keep scrolling down, we get to the initial token distribution, so that's also an interesting part. So we've got 3% founders reward, that's pretty low, I like that. Then 6.9% are for the Mirqur delegators before the platform launch, so that would be now. Then 5% development fund, 12% have not been decided on what they're going to be used yet, so they're under protocols control for later use, and the community should decide what that will be used for. And then the vast majority, 73%, is locked by the protocol and airdropped to later delegators over a period of circa 3 years. So as you can see, the vast majority of tokens are really meant for the community, and that just underlines that community-driven sense of that project again. Now, before we look at the Mirqur Airdrop Calculator, let's just scroll down a bit further here. So you can see next is the roadmap. We're currently in Q3. And as you can see in Q4, they'll integrate with the Alonso mainnet that will launch tomorrow. And then they'll also have the launch on the mainnet. So they take another quarter to get all those things ready, and then they'll launch in Q4. And that is also, so after the launch is also when the Mirqur token airdrop will happen, so the distribution. So you can profit from it now if you stake in their pool, and then the distribution will happen in Q4. Alright, if we scroll down, you can see the team. That's always nice to see if they have a public team, so you can look at their LinkedIn profiles. Alright, now let's quickly look at the token distribution calculator to see how much you could potentially earn. Alright, so we can just click on that calculator here, Airdrop Calculator. Alright, so let's assume that you started staking now, and then, so the current epoch is 289. If you started staking now, that would start during the next epoch. And then the launch epoch, so that is already, they've already put that in, so that would probably be around the epoch number 300. Let's assume you staked 10,000 Cardano. So let's go over to calculate. So what you can see, your estimated airdrop would be 2.77k Mirqur tokens. And if we scroll down, you can see all the way down here, they say the total token supply is 1 billion. So initially this Mirqur token will probably not have a whole lot of value. So this will be a very low valued token, probably because 1 billion is just very big. That's a very big supply, so it will probably be a few cents. But if we look at other market caps of other dexes, let's quickly go over to CoinMarketCap and have a look. So what I always like to do is I like to compare it to dexes on other big chains that have already been up and running for quite a while. So the most common ones are obviously Uniswap. Now that has a market cap of 14 billion. I don't think that any Cardano dex will achieve that anytime soon, because Uniswap has been around for a while. But if we scroll further down, you can also see PancakeSwap is coming up somewhere here. So that has a market cap of about 4.5 to 5 billion, depends on the price. And then you can also see SushiSwap, so that's way further down here, but that still has a market cap over 1 billion. So if we're assuming that Mirqur will become one of the top dexes for Cardano, which we don't know at this point, we don't know which dex will be the top one for Cardano, but one of them will be the winner. So for this example, let's assume it's going to be Mirqur. So a conservative estimation for the long one would be that the market cap would go up to 1 billion. So you can see that would still be lower than SushiSwap, so that would probably be, in the long term, that would be a realistic scenario. In that case, that's a very easy calculation. In that case, your airdrop would be worth $2,770. Now, if we look at another graph further down here, you can see that we're currently in that pre-launch epoch where 7.9% of the tokens are distributed. But you can still stake in their pool after their launch, and then the other 73% will be distributed over the course of 3 years. So that's a time span of 3 years. So you can just keep staking that. And so if we assume you've been staking for another year after the launch, so I think that's another 73 epochs for a year. So you've been staking for that. So the curve is gradually flattening out, because as you can see, there will be lower and lower rewards. So the earlier you stake, the more rewards you get, but you would still get after, so that's a bit more than a year, you would have almost 7k Mirqur token. So that's a pretty cool idea. You can stake for a very long time, you can become a really loyal Mirqurian, and that will give you a continuous option to earn rewards. So that's a very interesting thing. I especially like that they're distributing such a vast majority of their tokens. So they're basically distributing 80% of their token to the community. That's unseen, I think. I've never seen such a high distribution level before. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, in order to get their tokens, as always, you have to stake your Cardano coins in their staking pool. And what you can see is if you click on Mirqur pool info, then you get to this page. So I've just been on that earlier, and you see all the information about their pool. So you can see the ticker. And now the easiest way to do that is to stake it in your Mirqur wallet. I'll leave a tutorial for that on top of my head if you haven't done that yet. So I'll quickly show you what to do. Alright, I'm in my Mirqur wallet. What you have to do is you have to click on delegation list, and here you can simply enter the ticker or the name. So either Mirqur or if you enter Mirqur, that comes up immediately. Now you see all this information here. Now, one thing that will probably catch your eye is the ROA, so that's a bit low now. Actually, it is an airdrop, so you should still receive your ADA rewards and you get the Mirqur tokens on top of that. But I just went to their Discord and their Reddit, and there have been a few questions and answers about that. And apparently the stake pool operator had some issues. I don't know what exactly happened, but that's why the ROA is so low. But apparently they found a solution to fix it, so apparently it has been even lower and now it's going up again. So that's just a note here. Otherwise, you can see it's not saturated, so that's great. And they also have a good pledge, so they probably won't mess with that. It was probably just a mistake that the ROA was so low. But anyway, you get tokens for free on top of that, so it might be worth taking that risk that the ROA is a bit lower for a short period of time. Anyway, they seem to be quite fair. They've looked at that pretty quickly and they're now fixing it. Anyway, so once you're ready to stake in their pool, you can click on delegate. Then it automatically chooses everything. You need to enter your password, and then you can click on delegate. And as always, after some loading time, this new pool will show up here at the new epoch, after 3 epochs. So I just reloaded the page, and now you can see 3 epochs later, so it always takes 3 epochs for the change to happen, and then that will restake in that new pool. Alright, so that's it for that Mirqur tutorial. This is what the DEX is all about and how you can get their token airdropped to you if you stake to their stake pool. Now, it is a fairly technical DEX, especially the Lightpaper is pretty technical, but I hope I could break it down as easily as possible. If you still have any questions, leave them in the comments down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Also, don't forget to check out the DeFi Academy. We've already got a great community in there, and we've got all those super great bits and pieces for you to be able to live off passive income in the long run and to retire early. So if that's something you're interested in, go down in the description, click the first link and join within the next 24 hours. So don't miss that opportunity and go down to the description, click on that link now. If you like this video, hit the like button down below, share with your friends, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!